next question is there. Why pea plant? Why pea plant only? That is why some sativa. Why the Mendel select the pea plant only? Mendel selected pea plant, as I told you, because of the contrasting characters. Contrasting characters. He was selected 7 characters, 7 contrasting characters. First, tall and dwarf. As I told you, tall is the tall, dwarf is the small. This is the contrast to each other. Second, round and wrinkled. Round and wrinkled. What is the meaning of wrinkle? It is not round. It is somehow shrinked one. And we are talking about seeds. We are talking about seeds. Round and wrinkled seeds. The third contrasting character selected by Mendel is the color of the seed. That is yellow and green. Yellow and green. The fourth contrasting character selected by the Mendel is the color of the flower, that is violet and white. Violet and white. The fifth contrasting character selected by the Mendel is axial and terminal. Axial and terminal. And this is about the flower. Axial and terminal flower. The sixth character that is chosen by Mendel is the green and yellow pot. Green and yellow pot. And the seventh last contrasting character that was selected by Mendel is inflated and constructed pot. Inflated and constructed pot. These are the 7 contrasting characters that was selected by the Mendel. Okay. Here that there are 2 types of the character. One is called the dominant character and one is called the recessive character. What is dominant character? The character which shows their effect in the presence of any other character. That is called the dominant character. Recessive which was unable to show their character in the presence of any dominant trait. So there are 2 types of the character. One is called the dominant character and one is called the recessive character. Here I am underlining some characters here. The underline all character is called the dominant character. Definitely the next one is the recessive one. When we call the tall and the dwarf, you know very well, we are talking about the height of the plant. So there are 2 types of the pea plant is there, tall plant and the short plant. When we are talking about the round and the wrinkle seed, know very well the seed, one is the round, one is the wrinkle from outside. Okay, like this. Round is simply round. Like this, wrinkle somehow like this. That is round and wrinkle seed. Yellow and green, when we call about the yellow and green, about the seed, the color only, the yellow color and the green color. Violet and white, when we talk about the violet and white, this is actually the flower. Okay, yellow violet flower and the white flower, axial and terminal. If the flower is in the upper part like this, then it's called axial. And if it is in this part, that is called the terminal. Green and yellow pot. Pot is the fruit. If the pot is like this, simple, then it is called the inflated. Okay. And if the pod is like this, it is called the constructed. Pod is the shape of the fruit. So there are 2 types of the pod is there. It may be green and yellow and inflated and the constructed. So these are the 7 characters that was chosen by the Mendel for his research. For our examples or the laws, we must need only 2. It is sufficient for us, or up to 3 we are able to study. That is sufficient up to our level to study the characters. I am going to rub all this. Okay. Now next is why pea plant. The question is again, first is the because he chosen 7 contrasting character, so he select pea plant for his research. The second, why the pea plant? Because the life span of pea plant is very short. The life span of pea plant, is very short. Very short, it means it is of 3 to 4 weeks. Very small lifespan of the plant is there. So whatever the changes, we have to recognize it is easily studied within this 3 to 4 weeks. And next, why pea plant? Because the cross pollination and self pollination, both the processes possible in this plant. Okay, self and cross pollination, is possible in this plant. It is easier to perform self-pollination, to allow the self-pollination, or to perform the cross-pollination in this plant. As I told you, various characters are all there, the contrasting characters are there, and that contrasting character provide him an opportunity to analyze all the data properly that he was used for his research. So these are the 3 reasons why Mendel chosen the pea plant. This is the 3 main reasons. Now we have to study about some important terms that we have to know about the genetics. Important terms related to the genetics. First is the dominant. Dominant character or trait are the trait which inherited in offspring or visible in offspring. What is recessive? Recessive trait are the traits which are hidden or masked in presence of dominant trait. And more important thing, the dominant trait is always represented by capitals, and the recessive traits are always resembled by the small letters of alphabet. Okay. Now next is the gene. What is gene? Gene, that is explained by Mendel as a factor. According to Mendel, gene is the factor. Okay, but later on it is discovered the factor is termed as the gene. That is the fundamental unit of inheritance. Fundamental unit of inheritance. Okay, according to the Mendel call it factors. Okay, Mendel call it factors. Now we call it the gene. It is the fundamental unit of inheritance, and this term gene was given by Johansen. It is given by Johansen. It was given by Johansen. The term gene was given by the Johansen. What is next? Allele. Allele What is allele? It is the combination of gene. It is the form of gene. Okay, there are two form of the gene, or we call it the three form also. There are two forms of the gene. That is called the forms of gene. Okay, the forms of gene is actually called the allele. Gene are always placed in the pair of two, and that form of gene is called the allele. Now allele, the next term that we have to use in that is called the homozygous allele and heterozygous allele. Sometimes we have to know about the multiple allele also. The next is the homozygous allele. Homo means same. If both the alleles are same, or both the allele in one particular that is the character is same, then we call it the homozygous allele. Both the gene are same, so we call it the homozygous allele. That is capital T and capital T is a homozygous of toy, or a small t. It is homozygous of dar, same as other characters. Now heterozygous. Hetero means different. What is the heterozygous allele? If both the gene of the group is not same. If both the gene are different. It means a combination of two different gene. That is the capital T and a small t. So it is called the heterozygous allele. Sometimes multiple allele is also there. Multiple allele that is present in human blood group. Multiple, more than two, multiple allele. Oh, I'm going to write more than two. Generally, all the alleles are in the group of two. But if it is more than the group of two, then it is called the multiple allele. And best example is the blood group in human. Blood group in human. The three alleles here is A, B and the O. If the two alleles are there, then it is maybe homozygous or heterozygous. If more than two alleles are there, then it is called the multiple allele. Three more terms are there. One is the phenotype, then genotype, then the cross, then the fel generation also. This is the phenotype. Now what is phenotype? It is also one important definition that you have to know. The physical appearance. Whatever the appearance we are recognized from outside, that is called the physical appearance. The physical appearance of characters is called phenotype. When we studied about the laws, we must discuss all this again. Now one is called the genotype. What is genotype? Genotype means what is the genetic composition inside the body. What is the genetic makeup or composition? That is called the genotype. Genotype is genetic composition or genetic makeup or genetic composition. That is not visible from outside. That is not seen physically. That is called the genotype. One more term is there. That is the cross. What is the meaning of the cross? Cross means breeding with two characters, two plants or two animals. Breeding with two species. As we are going to study about the mental, so we call it simply between the two plants. It's called the cross. One more term that is used when we are going to study about the laws of the inheritance, that is called the phenon. Now what is phenon? Phenon is actually the different generation. phenol. Double L. Phenol is actually the different generation, one generation to next. Na? So that is called the phenol. Next generation. First phenol, second phenol, third phenol. It means generation after generation. The phenol is called the next generation. So if we are going to study the genetics, we have to know about the gene, we have to know about the allele, we have to know about the dominant, recessive, we have to know about the phenotype, genotype, cross, and also the phenol generations also. So these are the important terms that is used in lesson that's called the genetics.